So welcome to Boxing Media Hub, and yes, you're with Joel and the champ Ash Lane, and we're back again. Boxing Media Hub. We just keep cropping up. Sorry, people. We're here for what's next for Joseph Parker. Obviously, we are sponsored by Falcon Contracting, Price Global Solutions, and boxbets.co.uk, the home of boxing betting. Get over there and place your bets now, 18 plus. Another interesting show. I'm loving this guy. Hit the like button, people. He knows what to do. Hit the subscribe button as well. What's next for Joseph Parker? So, emphatic win at the weekend. Joseph Parker now 37 fights, 34 wins, 23 knockouts, which also sounds very glittery as well. And Joe, another guy, I would say, never turns down a fight. Joe will always get stuck in there.
Awesome steel.
Yeah. And I think we saw that in against Joe Joyce, where he showed his heart, real metal in that fight. When a lot of people would have pulled, he really bit down and just kept pushing. But Wilder, this past weekend, wins on a unanimous decision. Wide points, 118 to 111, 120 to 108, 118 to 110. Cracking scores on the cards. And I have to say, the best I've seen in box. I thought he was brilliant. And some of the shots that he landed, there was a point in the fight where he got Wilder in the corner and he literally threw the kitchen sink, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it was incredible that this guy who's been quite reserved in that sort of style to just go for it. He literally was giving Wilder tactic, and Andy Lee as well. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Stuck to the game plan from all those throughout the entire fight, to be honest, and I thought it was spot on. A brilliant year for Joseph Parker. January, he fought Jack Massey, which he won on unanimous decision. May, he went Upelu, which he won TKO round 1. And then he fought in October, let's not forget, against Simon Keane, which he won by knockout in round 3, which was a cracking performance. Oh, mate, absolutely brilliant by Joseph Parker. What a year. 4 fights in the year at that level is brilliant. Ash, I know you're a Parker fan, and Parker's kind of been adopted by the UK fans as one of our own. I expected Parker to be clipped eventually, but he wasn't. Fair play to Parker. Back to his best. Great to see overhand right in round 8. Thought he had Wilder after that. For me, Wilder just didn't turn up to the party, but we'll get into Wilder a bit more. But cracking by Parker this year.
He's done. I tell you what, he's on a really, really good run. Fair play to him. He's earned some good money. He's had some good fights, and he's got some really good wins under his belt. His performance against Deontay Wilder was a good performance, but I don't think you can jump up and celebrate and over-exaggerate too much. I think his performance was really good, but I think it looked better than what it was because of how poor Deontay Wilder was. I think Deontay Wilder was just absolutely atrocious, and that let Parker look even better. So say Parker was a 7 out of 10. Deontay made him look a 9 out of 10. I mean, I can't take nothing away from Parker. Went in there.
His game plan, wasn't it? Game plan.
Yeah, it was. But he went in there with a game plan to stand his ground and, not back off from Wilder too much. I mean, that's what it looked like at least. But at the same time, Wilder danced around the ring like it was ballet. I mean, what's he doing? Your greatest asset is your big right hand and left hook, and you dance around the ring like a fairy. I mean, what's going on? So, if Wilder had stood there in the center and traded with Parker from the off, I I don't know if Parker would have been there after 6 or 7 rounds. It didn't. It never happened. So we can't say. We can't predict what we can't say what really did happen, do we? I mean, what did happen was Deontay danced around the ring. So I think that Deontay made Parker look better than how he really was. But you can't take it away from Parker. It's a great fight. He boxed the right game plan for the Wilder that did come out. He looked really good, and his stock has risen because of that. So he's got some. I think he's got some big fights.
He's
now
back
in,
in there. He's back in there.
100%,
Majorly.
100%. He's world title challenger again now.
Yep.
Because he's in our fold.
Chris, I saw Parker versus Massey at the start of the year. Parker was underwhelming in that fight against a cruiserweight. I worried about him after, but completely turned it around. They were talking AJ versus Wilder. Why not AJ versus Parker? Parker won, so deserves another shot at AJ. I can see Parker versus Zhang, though. I can't lie. Someone else has jumped in and said, let's get Parker Zhang. That's a tough fight. That is. But for me, why not? If look at the odds that Parker had going into that Wilder fight. Let's be honest. Even when we were in round 12, when we were watching it, like the three of us all having a chat and all the rest of it, when you look at that fight, you turn around, don't you, and you go, Wilder's still in there in the final round, there's still a chance that he could knock him out, because that's the threat he brings. That is the threat. Zhang is one of these guys that systematically breaks you down with heavy, hard punches throughout. He can start from round one and just go. The engine does start to go later, but if you get to those later rounds, you've then got to try and stop Zhang, and that's hard. But that's a fight out there that was one on my list as well.
I think for the Zhang fight, I think Parker beats Zhang. With a new sense of confidence. And then, now, do you think he beats Zhang?
Are we talking age-wise here as well? Like, are we?
Yeah, but I mean, I think Parker is a bit quicker than Zhang, and I don't think I'll make the same mistakes I did against Joyce. With Joyce, he stood and he traded another firefight.
Yeah,
stupid. Joyce has a chin of granite that only Zhang has knocked out, and Joyce just throws and throws and throws, and every punch is like a sledgehammer, and he has an engine that will go 20 plus rounds. So with Parker, he hasn't got the best engine if he trades. So to do what he did against Joyce wasn't the right game plan for him. Zhang isn't a choice. Zhang fights in bursts. He will take 2.5 minutes off in a round, and then have 2 bursts where he causes a lot of damage, and he will win the round. That's what Zhang does. And Zhang's endurance, his fitness, isn't that great himself. So I can see Parker taking this fight against Joyce, improving stylistically for the Zhang fight, and outboxing Zhang.
So are you saying a Joyce rematch would be?
No. I think Parker will be good to fight. I think Parker will beat Zhang. He'd take the Joyce fight, he'd improve, and he'd work on things. And with the Zhang fight, he got sparked. I mean, Zhang sparked out Joyce. He beat him twice, but he's a different fighter to Joyce. And I think Parker has the tools to beat him.
Yeah. Well, there was a few, as I say, there was a few mentions in that. Like Chris has just said, there's options out there for Parker. 100% now. I think he's reignited his status.
What about Capel? That'd be a great fight for him.
People have said Anthony Joshua rematch was the one that was ringing round. Joe Joyce rematch would be, but I think it'd be more intriguing now.
Oh.
And Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker.
That'd be a good fight. I think, yeah, that would be a good fight. I think,
Your face just lit up, Ash.
I think, I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to think in my mind who would win that fight. But that's a
It's
real
one of
good
those, isn't it?
50-50 fight. It's the
And
50-50.
Chris has said Parker versus Ruiz 2.
Good fight. I think Ruiz is kind of like, he hasn't done anything to deserve to be up in the fold with those boys.
He's got to, yeah. He could get back in there. He could get back in there, but he's
He
got
needs-
to do something to get there.
He needs to fight.
Yeah.
You know, they won about Ruiz fighting Deontay Wilder, and they wanted too much money. But why doesn't he fight Deontay Wilder now? Why don't Ruiz fight Wilder, beat Wilder, and then that's a good step up to say, okay, I was
Now
just beating Wilder. I'm ready for one of you lads.
I'm back in the big time, like Joe's just done.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, good year for Joseph Parker. A really productive year that has now pushed him into 2024 in a fantastic position. And they're going to take so much confidence from this fight. They could even be the sort of people that we won't talk about it too much, but that could have been the retirement due for Wilder. But let's see what's next for Joseph Parker. Let us know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button as well. He's put himself in prime, isn't he? And as I say, he's back in the mix where you genuinely could have thought 3 fights ago he was nowhere near. And now this guy is well and truly in with the names again. Because
what about Hrgović? Does he beat Hrgović?
Oh, see, that's a good fight.
That is a good fight. I mean, because we're all talking about Joshua fighting Hrgović. Oh, what about Parker Hrgović?
Well, I think the only thing with Joshua is he's in the right position to get that fight, isn't he? Because of the IBF ranking. I don't know where Parker is in sitting in that.
But we all know. I mean, why if
it's the WBC, isn't it? That Parker will never be.
Yeah. Why if something happens? Joshua doesn't fight Hrgović. It leaves Hrgović free. The IBF free.
If Fury retired, the WBC throws right out there. If say Usyk loses to Fury has everything, and then Fury retires, we're looking at a complete explosion of heavyweight boxing back to where it should be, because it would be mental. But these are all the major questions. But as I say, Parker, massive 2024 coming up for him. Where's he go next? Let us know in the comments. Ash, you're a star as always. Thank you very much. Hit the subscribe button, people, and we'll see you shortly. Until then, have some of this.